News 3 is taking action for your money. The S&P 500 back at all-time highs. So why doesn't it feel like we're back to where we started economically? News 3 anchor Todd Carrillo posed that question to financial expert Carl Carlson.
So this all happened fairly recently, and then we had a little correction. But still, it's just not that long ago that, we're talking weeks maybe, that we hit record highs. And that's in the midst of still this global pandemic is still going on, and COVID-19. So really, I think the stock market is not, Todd, it's not a lagging indicator, it's a leading indicator. And so that's a big difference that people need to understand how to separate.
And I'm sure the average person is going to ask you, how in the world can the stock market be so positive right now when millions are unemployed, kids can't go to school? What's the explanation there?
Right. So that's that leading indicator part. When people are buying stock in a company, people are looking to the future for how that stock's going to perform. They could be looking 6 months into the future. They could be looking a year down the road, and they could sometimes even be looking 4 and 5 years down the road, knowing that the value of that company is going to get better over time for whatever the reason may be. So when more people start thinking that, more people start buying that stock, and all of a sudden you can see the stock market doing really good things when the economy isn't, and that gets very confusing.
So if people are more optimistic about the future, that might indicate that the stock market indexes are going up. What does it tell us about the economic data?
So it really doesn't tell you much at all about the economic data, because all the economic data, that is lagging indicators. So that's telling you what has happened in the past. So that's something like unemployment rates, corporate profits, things like that. Like the corporate profits aren't that good yet because we're just coming out of this pandemic. But that doesn't mean they're not going to be really good in the future. So the stock market doesn't tell us a whole lot about the economy. The economy is a lagging indicator. So you need to separate those two to get a good sense for what people are thinking these companies are going to do, the companies that are in the stock market.
And Carl says that the market is always changing, and we're going to see more ups and downs to come. He expects to see more volatility as we get closer to the election.